Joseph of the Bible is another interesting character. Joseph, the 11th son of Jacob, later known as Israel, the patriarch. In that his life also depicts and describes the various stages of destiny, or the various progressions that one would encounter, or the various milestones that one would encounter in one's pursuit of destiny. You realize that he was gifted with the ability to interpret dreams. Was gifted with he had a huge potential. He had his whole life ahead of him. He also as a result of his excitement and enthusiasm concerning this particular gifting or this particular potential that was revealed to him by the Lord. He was very excited and ecstatic about it, making noise in the eyes of in the face of his parents and his brothers, who envied him. And so they realized that they pushed him, or they rejected him and were hostile to him, sold him into slavery. And now, as a slave, he was very fortunate to have been bought by Potiphar, the chief guard of the Pharaoh at that time. And you realize that the destiny upon, or the mandate or call or purpose upon Joseph's life was to be a ruler, not just someone's right hand man, not just a slave, not just a chief slave of a chief of any palace guard or of an official in Egypt. He was supposed to be the kingpin, the boss. And so Joseph sort of found himself in a comfort zone in Potiphar's house. Up until again he encounters some trouble with Potiphar's wife. But through this trouble, he becomes the prime minister, eventually meets people who open doors to him, and he finally becomes the prime minister, or he finally becomes the ruler that he was meant and destined to be. But that doesn't end there. And that shows you that the purposes that God has for our lives, they are not one final destination that we get to, and that is it. Because once God makes you the man or woman He wants you to be, He has plans, or He has work for you to do. And we find, or we realize that in Joseph's life. So the whole world, the then known world in Joseph's time, encountered a famine, which was predicted, or which was revealed to Joseph in a dream. And so Joseph, with wisdom and with excellence and with foresight and planning, was able to lead Egypt in saving up, or in storing up enough food for the entirety of the famine. And so when every other nation was suffering and reeling from the impact of this famine, Joseph and Egypt, they were languishing and lavishing in plenty, in plenteousness, or in abundance. They had so much food to spare. And so in Genesis 47, the people come to Joseph and they are expressing their gratitude for him because of the principles, because of the systems that he laid down to ensure that they and their families, they will survive this famine. They will not be consumed. They will not have been consumed by this devastating famine. And even in that process, Egypt became wealthier because nations were trooping in to buy food from them. And so they were being nourished themselves, and they were generating profit as a result. And so you realize that because of Joseph's wisdom, because of his skill, because of his giftings, as a result of he having polished and he having harnessed his potential by God's guidance and by God's leading, he was able to leave a lasting legacy in the lives of not just the Egyptians, but his own family, and in the lives of the people of the then known world, by now honing into the impact on his own family. You realize that his father and his brothers and their families back in Canaan were saved and delivered, because Joseph was now in a place of authority that would enable him to take care of his entire family, to make sure that they are comfortable during this unpleasant famine, or during this trying time. Now imagine if Joseph also got complacent, or Joseph gave up along the line, or Joseph just lost track or lost sight of the importance of the mandate of God upon his life, and he just threw caution to the wind. His entire family would have died, and the bloodline of the Messiah, through David, through whoever, would have been lost. So that means that you and I should have forgotten, or you and I we should forget totally or completely about any form of salvation coming through Jesus Christ, because the entire family or the entire seed of Abraham, the entire seed of Abraham would have been lost as a result of this famine. And so this should go to put a certain amount of fire in our bones, letting us know that there are a lot of lives that are banking on our fulfillment of God's purposes and plans for our lives. And so in this pursuit of destiny, we must not relent, but as we become the people God wants us to be, we must focus on leaving lasting legacies, or leaving systems, building systems that will last, such that people can benefit from them even when we are no more. And so this is what God intends, or this is what God expects from us as He blesses us and as He anoints us with His power and with His endowment and with every gifting that we have from on high.